Hello, and good afternoon, everyone. A very warm welcome to all of our guests this lovely October fall afternoon. Today, we're here to celebrate the 76th National Disability Employment Awareness Month. Again, for the second time this year, we are broadcasting live as a virtual event. This event will be recorded and made available in the coming days. My name is Julia Blackwell, and I am the newly appointed Executive Director of JEVS hireAbility. I will be your MC for today's event. When I hosted this event last year, I was a brand new face to many of you. I am so excited to be back again this year for the second time hosting our Disability Employment Awareness event. This event took many months to plan, and I would like to take a few moments to acknowledge some of the people in the room that made today happen. First, to the New Jersey Division of Vocational Rehabilitation Services team, led by Director Karen Carroll. The New Jersey Division of Voc Rehab team jumped at the opportunity to assist us plan this year's event. Their feedback and guidance was pivotal to making today a success. Second, to my JEVS team. The past few months have challenged us personally and professionally more so than any other time throughout the pandemic. I am so proud to be part of your team and to be your leader. I would like to recognize our employment manager, Angel Lucas, who this week is celebrating her 30th year as the JEVS hireAbility employment manager. After 30 years, Angel still manages to do it all and show up the next day, most days, with a smile. Congratulations, Angel, to many more. Finally, I would be remiss if I did not mention the backbone of our JEVS team, led by Jeff Booth. Jeff's enduring patience was a consistent throughout the pandemic, and we're incredibly grateful to Jeff for slowing down, mentoring, and teaching us. Thank you, Jeff. Now for the good stuff. Our event this year is a little bit different than last year. What you can expect today over the first hour is some inspirational remarks from our leadership, success stories from our clients, and just for good measure, a disability employment awareness presentation given by yours truly, just for good measure, to remind us all why we are here today. Following our 1 hour awareness event, we will have a short break and conclude with a 1 hour virtual job fair. If you are planning on participating in the job fair, please do not go anywhere, as we will be using the same Zoom link that we are on right now. The format of the job fair will consist of some fantastic employers, including the New Jersey Department of Workforce Development. We will have 3 rounds of 15 minutes each. Each client may choose what breakout room they would like to go into. Each employer will have their own breakout room, and each client can choose that breakout room each time, or they can choose a different room. At the conclusion of the job fair, we would ask all clients to send their resumes at that time. To kick off our event this afternoon, we will hear some welcoming remarks from the New Jersey Division of Vocational Rehabilitation Director, Karen Carroll. So from my home to yours, please sit back and relax as we spend the next hour together, hearing from some amazing leaders, listening to some incredible success stories, and hopefully learning a little bit more. Please take it away, Karen.
Hello, welcome to our 2021 Disability Employment Awareness Month event, co-sponsored by the New Jersey Division of Vocational Rehabilitation Services and hireAbility, an affiliate of JEVS Human Services. My name is Karen Carroll, and I am the statewide director for NJ DVRS. This event is especially important this year, given the challenges posed as a result of the pandemic. According to the National Governors Association, COVID-19 has disproportionately affected many who have historically faced significant barriers to employment, including people with disabilities. This is coupled with the fact that people with disabilities have persistently faced lower rates of employment and lower wages compared to those who do not have a disability. Disability Employment Awareness Month, otherwise known as DEAM, is a national event celebrated each October. This year's theme, America's Recovery Powered by Inclusion, is a succinct yet powerful message that recognizes the value of an inclusive workforce. In this coming year, DVRS will be focusing on career pathway models that lead to employment outcomes, such as internships, apprenticeships, and other work-based learning experiences. These efforts are needed to achieve a wider level of access to employment opportunities. We at DVRS are continuously striving to create and support career pathways for those we serve. Our vocational rehabilitation counselors and consumers rely on our partnerships with service providers, employers, state partners, and other stakeholders to support our mission and achieve our goal of inclusive employment. With that said, I want to express my appreciation to all of you who are joining our event today. We hope that your participation and input will continue beyond today's event. I would like to leave you with a quote from a nationally recognized disability rights advocate, Judy Heumann. This quote describes what we here at DVR know and believe. People with disabilities should be sought after employees. They understand how to work through challenges because they face adversity every day. Ask anyone with a disability, and they will tell you that this creates an incredible motivation. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Karen. We're incredibly grateful for your leadership, your partnership, and your tireless advocacy to protect and advance the rights of individuals with disabilities in New Jersey. Next, we are going to hear a special message from the New Jersey Commissioner of the Department of Labor and Workforce Development, Robert Asaro Angelo. Here is the Commissioner.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rob Asaro Angelo, the Commissioner of Labor and Workforce Development for the state of New Jersey. I'm so glad to be here today. My appreciation goes out to JEVS hireAbility, as well as our department's Division of Vocational Rehabilitation Services for their collaborative efforts for organizing this exciting event. Thank you very much for inviting me to join you in observing National Disability Employment Awareness Month, as our country has done for 76 years now every October. This year's national theme is very appropriately chosen as America's Recovery, Powered by Inclusion. Before the pandemic hit, New Jersey went from having the most people working in our state's history to having one of our biggest employment crises, all in just a few weeks' time. As we gradually heal from this devastating blow, it's important that we do so with a focus on making job opportunities available to all New Jerseyans, as all populations of workers seeking to get into the workforce. The Department of Labor has long advocated for our state's employers that an emphasis on diversity, equity, and inclusion opens candidate searches to pools of applicants who bring wide-ranging sets of unique skills and talents to the job, including, of course, individuals with disabilities. People with disabilities strive to work and provide for their families just like anyone else. But hiring someone with a disability may be intimidating to an employer who may be unaware of the simple accommodations that can be made to bring them aboard. That's where our Division of Vocational Rehabilitation Services, or DVRS, steps in to help strengthen our businesses while enhancing career prospects for individuals with disabilities. DVRS provides workers and employers with the support and resources they need to ensure employees with disabilities have the necessary tools to be effective in the workplace. Our team also works with people with disabilities to find jobs that suit their strengths, priorities, needs, abilities, capabilities, and teaches employers how easy it is to take a few small, no-cost steps that allow these workers to thrive. We are happy to have a partner in JEVS hireAbility to amplify these missions as we work together toward the shared goal of finding meaningful employment for workers with disabilities. To recover from the pandemic and continue to succeed well beyond, we need all hands on deck, and we need to work together. So this month we pay tribute to workers with disabilities, recognize the important role that they play in our workforce, and extend our thanks and appreciation to DVRS and partners like JEVS hireAbility for their efforts in bringing equal opportunity for all. Congratulations in advance to today's awards winners. My best wishes to all those participating in the virtual job fair. I hope everyone has a fantastic time. Thanks again for having me here today. I look forward to seeing you all in person. Stay safe and healthy, everyone. Thank you.
Next, we will hear from the New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development Diversity and Inclusion Officer, Brahim Knight. Here is a message not only about diversity and inclusion, but about access and opportunity to employment. Here is Brahim.
Good afternoon. My name is Brahim Knight, and I'm the Diversity and Inclusion Officer at the New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development. The New Jersey Department of Labor and Workforce Development is honored to celebrate National Disabilities Employment Awareness Month. National Disabilities Employment Awareness Month, commonly referred to as NDEAM, utilizes the month of October to raise awareness surrounding employment and contributions made within businesses and organizations serving the disabled community. NDEAM fosters inclusion in the workplace to ensure individuals with disabilities have equity regarding employment opportunities. Employers who hire individuals with disabilities are diversifying their workforce and promoting the idea of inclusion. The COVID-19 pandemic has disproportionately affected disabled individuals with layoffs and job acquisition challenges. Historically, people with disabilities generally experience higher rates of unemployment. According to the Kessler Foundation, a global leader in rehabilitation research and employment funding for individuals with disabilities, from March 2020 to April 2020, the number of employed working-age people with disabilities fell by 20%, while counterparts without disabilities decreased by 14%. Employment equality is obtained through embracing diversity and inclusionary social practices, which recognize and value every worker in America and American society's contribution to the labor market. A heartfelt thank you to all the employers participating in this year's virtual job fair, sponsored by the New Jersey Division of Vocational Rehabilitation Services and JEVS hireAbility, providing the disabled community a platform to obtain employment is critical in closing the unemployment gap in the disabled community. Furthermore, a huge congratulations to all our award winners today. Job acquisition and employment not only instill confidence in individuals, but employment is also an entry point for professional skill development, personal growth, and advancement. I hope the stories we hear today not only inspire us, but illustrate how providing an inclusionary workplace for every individual provides hope and inspirations for others to achieve their personal goal, regardless of the scope of their disability. Finally, having inclusionary workplaces allows for a diverse mixture of life experiences in the workplace. The unique contributions of every employed individual brings added value to the daily work experience. Understanding that diversity and inclusion expand beyond the realm of physical presentation, diversity and inclusion encompasses a diversity of thought and experiences. I sincerely hope today's event catalyzes a conversation surrounding employment disparities, impacting the disabled community, into a sustainable effort to ensure members of all communities, regardless of physical ability, have access and opportunity to gainful employment. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Raheem. I could not have said it better myself, that a diverse workplace brings added value that not only encompasses thought, but experiences too. I hope you found those messages from our leaders inspirational. Next, I will be presenting a short disability employment awareness presentation. Please sit back and relax as I hope you learned something. To start, a little bit about JEVS hireAbility and who we are. We are an independent nonprofit affiliate of JEVS Human Services. We serve both youth and adults in the greater Philadelphia area and in southern New Jersey, provide individualized and person-centered employment services that focus on the strengths, skills, and interests of people with disabilities and match with the needs of local businesses. Our mission statement is that we support individuals of all skill levels and experiences to live and work in the community of their choice. In line with our employment first philosophy, we take a person-centered approach to prepare individuals with disabilities for competitive, integrated employment through career exposure, job development, and placement, and our advocacy efforts. A little bit about our values. We believe in quality and person-centered individualized employment services. These are based on the interests, skills, and needs of people with disabilities. We encourage a safe and welcoming environment for clients to begin or continue their journey to a meaningful life, full inclusion, and financial empowerment. We are also committed to protecting and advancing the rights of individuals with disabilities. We believe in employment first and employment for all. A little bit about our program is that we include assistance with the application and interview process, job placement, on-the-job training and support. We build and manage strong relationships with employers in the community, and we provide pre-employment transition services known as PREETs. We also have some brand new services I am so excited to share with you today, including out-of-school youth employment services. We recently became an employment network through the Social Security Administration, which means we can serve people in New Jersey and Pennsylvania and provide ticket to work services and benefits counseling. Finally, we recently added assistive technology services in-house and are currently offering them through a grant in Burlington County, New Jersey. You heard me mention employment first and employment for all. That's something that we believe in very strongly. What does that mean? Employment first means employment in the general workforce should be the first and preferred option for people with disabilities with the most significant disabilities. Simply put, employment first means real wages and real jobs. It starts with the assumption that a person is capable of working until proven otherwise. A little bit more about employment first is that it is a national movement centered around the idea that all people with disabilities are capable of full participation in their employment and in their community life. It requires a person-centered approach to help individuals meet their employment goals. And it urges systems to choose integrated employment as a preferred outcome for all publicly funded services. What does employment first mean for us in New Jersey? Well, in 2012, then Governor Chris Christie signed an executive order to make New Jersey an employment first state. New Jersey is one of 38 states in the country that have some kind of executive order, policy, or law regarding employment first. A little bit about hireAbility and employment first is that we also strongly believe in the full inclusion of people with disabilities in the workforce, that everyone, regardless of their disability, has the right and responsibility to contribute to their community and access the appropriate supports to ensure that they are successful. This philosophy rejects segregated employment and job readiness models. Our goal is equal access in the general workforce and zero exclusion, regardless of the significance of someone's disability. We also know that there are different types of disabilities. There are visible disabilities. A disability may manifest with visible elements such as differences in appearance, mobility, or in behavior. There are also invisible disabilities that are not apparent when you first meet someone. There are also acquired disabilities. Acquired disability is a disability that is obtained later in life. 85% of us will acquire a disability in our lifetime. 85% of us. Some tips on disability etiquette is to always use people first language first, unless told to use something else. For example, a person with autism is the way we typically refer to that first. If that person would like us to refer to them as something else, we would always abide by their wishes. Particularly in the autism community, many persons would like to be called autistic rather than a person with autism, and that is just fine. Everyone is allowed to choose how they are addressed, and we should respect the wishes of each person. Do not ask questions about someone's disability unless it's brought up by them. Speak directly to them like you would anyone else. If they have an interpreter, speak to the person, not the interpreter. Recognize that people are more than a diagnosis and a trait. And don't be afraid to ask any questions if you are unsure of what to say or what to do. Not everyone knows everything. It is okay to ask. Do not use terms like high functioning and low functioning. Always focus on people's strengths and then what support needs that they need to be successful. Now for some data. Less than 19% of people with disabilities participate in the workforce. Twice as many Americans with disabilities live in poverty compared to those with no disability. People with disabilities rely very heavily on public assistance benefits, including cash benefits from the Social Security Administration, including SSI and SSDI, Medicaid and Medicare, SNAP, and housing benefits. What is the prevalence of disability in the United States? It is estimated that 1/4 of adults in the United States are living with at least one disability. Adults with lower income are much more likely to have a disability. Adults living with disabilities experience lower socioeconomic positions, transportation challenges, diminished access to education, food, public services, and employment opportunities. How does New Jersey stack up to the rest of the country? Well, about the same. About the same amount of adults in New Jersey have a disability compared to the general United States population. Of course, I'd be remiss if I did not mention the impact of COVID-19 on job seekers and employees with a disability. The Kessler Foundation, in partnership with the University of New Hampshire Institute on Disabilities, found that the labor force participation rate for working age people with disabilities increased from 35.6% in August to 36.4% in September, up 2.2 percentage points. For working age Americans without a disability, in September, the labor force participation rate dropped from 76.8% to 76.5%. A small drop, however, this seems to indicate that people with disabilities seem to be recovering faster than people without disabilities. I would also like to highlight some of the other very interesting changes as a result of the work from home environment and the pandemic. Of course, working from home and hybrid work models. For years, people with disabilities have been requesting remote work options, hybrid work options, and most were told no, that your job is not possible to do with these different work environments. We are now learning we are capable of doing this when we are certainly forced to. The commute and the transportation issues. Many people with disabilities have transportation as a top issue. Getting to and from work with reliable transportation is no longer a barrier when you are a remote worker. Persons with disabilities who did not have the option if they wanted to disclose now do. Some workers with disabilities that have hidden disabilities now can choose to disclose to their employees. You can also control your home environment. Workers that have difficulty sitting for a long time or standing for a long time have the option to accommodate their own work environment at home. And closed captioning is starting to become the norm. Zoom did just add this as an upgrade to their service. We are hopeful that these benefits of the new work environment stay. And it is our responsibility as advocates to continue to push for these changes to remain. Now, a little bit about accommodations. Accommodations are something that sounds quite complex, but it is just an environment to a job or a workplace that makes it possible for an individual with a disability, a qualified individual with a disability, to perform their job duties or enhance their performance. It can include things like specialized equipment, modifications to the work environment, or something like a modification to a work schedule. Some of these things may seem like they cost a lot of money. The facts are that most accommodations are of little to no cost, and that actually 50% of accommodations cost less than $500. 19% cost nothing at all. Over 80% cost less than $1,000. And that data comes to you from the Job Accommodation Network, a fantastic resource for employees and employers to learn about job accommodations for workers with disabilities. From an ongoing survey conducted by the Job Accommodation Network, employers' experiences providing accommodations have yielded various benefits, which include, among others, increased employee retention, increased productivity. It enhances the diversity of your workforce, and it reduces workers' compensation and insurance costs for companies. Hiring a diverse workforce is a strong business practice. What do I mean by that? I mean that hiring people with disabilities will provide employers with a tangible return on that investment. Companies with well-run inclusive practices experience up to 30% reduction in their staff turnover. Businesses are also eligible for tax incentives, such as the Work Opportunity Tax Credit, and for incentives like on-the-job training, a partial wage reimbursement that helps employers absorb training costs. In addition, consumers favor brands that integrate social, economic, and human rights into their operations. Individuals with disabilities are the third largest market The workforce of an inclusive business mirrors their customer base, resulting in a more positive image for that company. Employers can access a tremendous pool of untapped talent, quite literally the largest pool of untapped talent. People with disabilities are wildly underemployed. Only 19% are employed. Some additional numbers on an inclusive workplace. 48% had greater tenure, 34% had fewer safety incidents, 90% perform equal to or better than their counterparts without disabilities, and company absenteeism is reduced by 40%. That concludes my presentation. Thank you so much for your patience and your attention. I really hope you learned something new. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me directly, and I would be happy to speak with you. Okay, we had the good part of our event, and now we get to the great part. We have the opportunity to showcase a few success stories of some amazing people. First, we are going to showcase Jeffrey Hernandez, a client of Easter Seals, New Jersey. Easter Seals, New Jersey is one of the largest nonprofits in New Jersey and has been providing opportunities for individuals with disabilities to live, learn, work, and play in the community of their choice for over 70 years. Increased disability employment is a core goal of their organization, offering a wealth of supports to approximately 800 job seekers each year. Thanks to the generosity of their supporters and hard work of their staff and program participants, Easter Seals makes a positive, profound difference in the lives of people with disabilities throughout the state of New Jersey. Here is Jeffrey's story.
On the hunt for his first job, Jeffrey's low hearing made it difficult to communicate with potential employers. However, thanks to Easter Seals New Jersey's employment services, Jeffrey is proud to be working and earning his own way.
Instant sense.
Thank you, Easter Seal.
Easter Seals New Jersey, taking on disability together. Share this video and help us celebrate life's moments.
Next, we will feature a success story of Scott Solomon, Scotty, from Water & Sims. Water & Sims Employment Services Incorporated prides themselves on delivering person-centered services to individuals of varied abilities in order to ensure that all develop the transferable skills necessary to obtain and maintain competitive employment. Here is Scotty's story.
Hi, I'm Scotty Solomon. I'm 24 years old. Where did time go?
Great, Scotty. Do you love to do anything in your free time?
Yeah, I play basketball and I work.
Great. And how long have you been working with Waters and Sims?
Since 2018.
Excellent. Scotty, do you remember the first program you did at Waters and Sims?
Tkacz.
Oh, that's great. And who did you work with?
Dana.
Excellent. And what did you do with Dana?
She helped me with cleaning tables and cleaning utensils too.
And you were still in what at the time?
In school.
Yeah.
High school to be exact.
Very good. And what did you do after high school, Scotty?
I looked for employment with my job coach, Maria.
Excellent.
Sit down over there off camera.
And what kinds of jobs did Maria help you apply to?
Dollar Tree, Kitchen Max, ShopRite, and other ones.
Awesome. Where do you work today?
TJ Maxx.
Well, that's great. We're here now, aren't we?
Yeah.
And what kinds of things do you do here at TJ
High
Maxx?
touch, dusting, clean mirrors. Oh yeah, dusting, jewelry case.
Do you also help customers?
Yes, speak to customers too.
Excellent. And who helps you do all this stuff?
Maria. Oh, it's gonna show okay.
And how does Maria help you?
By telling me to push the cart
Yeah.
and doing the doors, helping with the doors.
Is there any kind of special tools that Maria left you in case you need some help when she's not here?
The list.
And what does the list help you do?
It helps me out when Maria's not here.
Excellent. Does it remind you of certain things you have to get done?
Yes.
Excellent. What has been your experience working with Maria?
It's been a great experience
It's been a great experience?
Yeah.
How so?
because of my Maria, my job coach. You know, okay.
Excellent. And what would you say about your experience working with Waters and Sims?
It's been a great experience
Why do you think that?
because I want other people to recommend them for future jobs.
You want other people to have some jobs in the future?
Yeah,
Okay, why is that important to you?
because they said they could grow up and work like me. Like me.
Very good. Thank you, Scotty, very much for your time.
Welcome.
Hi, my name is Marie Majori, and I've been working with you, Scotty, for close to a year now.
There you go. Now you got it. How long have you been working with me?
Since March.
Oh, all right, that's great.
Mm-hmm.
What is your favorite part of working with me?
My favorite part working with you is definitely watching you grow and learning new skills every day.
That's so nice.
Yep.
Yes. What is a time that I made you very proud?
A time that you made me most proud is when you came to work and for the first time you didn't need much of my assistance. You were pretty good on your own.
That's great.
Hi, my name is Michelle. I'm the store manager here at TJ Maxx in East Brunswick.
And what has been your experience working with job coaches?
I've been in a few different TJ Maxxes, and we've had job coaches bring in kids working in the back room. They do layup for us. They've helped with being greeters. We've got Scotty that does our high touch cleaning, which is very important, especially nowadays with COVID, trying to keep our customers and our employees safe. So he has a very key role here in the store.
Excellent. And what has been your experience working with Scotty specifically?
Scotty is just always so upbeat. You cannot have a bad day when Scotty's around. He's friendly and gracious and kind to my customers as well as my associates, and just brings a lot of positive energy to the store.
Aw, thank you, Michelle.
How has it been working with Scotty's supports?
So we have an ever-changing business. So there are days when the high touch is always important, but there are other things we need done. Extra cleaning. We had a very important visit coming, and they help support keep Scotty getting directed and really getting our building tip-top shape for our visitors.
Excellent. And what do you hope for Scotty in the future?
I hope Scotty continues working with us and just maintains his positive attitude.
Well, thank you very much, and we thank you for having Scotty here and for allowing him to be part of the team.
Oh, you're welcome. We appreciate it.
Thank you very
That's so
much.
nice of you, Michelle.
For our next success story, we will feature Joseph Lombardo. Joseph is a client of Motions. Motions is a consumer-controlled organization that provides support for people living with disability, their family, their friends, and allies in the community. It is our mission to promote public awareness, support individual choice, barrier-free access to the community, and promote the civil rights of all people living with disabilities. Here is Joseph's story.
Hi, I'm Joe. I'm 17 and I'm a dog care attendant here at Four Paws. I work with the dogs here and I just love playing with dogs. They're so energetic. We'll feed them, we'll walk them, we'll put them in the big play area so they can play with each other. It's an all-around fun job and I love it here. My very first job was a mascot. I also worked at a deli and then I got the internship here at Four Paws.
Hi, my name is Daphne, and I'm the owner of the Fort Paws Hotel and Daycare. We offer boarding and daycare. We're open 7 days a week, 7 to 7, and we're a fully transparent facility. We've been in business for just over 6 months, and we were able to bring over 600 dogs in, so it's been pretty good.
I got this job through a group called Motions. This is my favorite job that I've ever had.
We work with Motions, who give job opportunities to young adults who may have or live with disabilities. Joe started with us in the summer, and he started interning with us, and he was just absolutely a natural with the dogs. You could tell he had a passion with the dogs, and as soon as his internship was over, we were more than happy to offer him a job at the Fort Paws.
When I first started working here, I didn't know too much about dogs. Through the internship, I learned more about them, and I've gained more and more experiences on how they're feeling in certain ways. I feel like it opened up a new path for me that I can go down.
Motions is a great organization. We're more than happy to continue working with them. Their interns are nothing but great.
I can definitely see myself working with animals in the future, and I am so thankful for Emotions for getting me the internship. I can't really explain how happy this job makes me.
Finally, for our last success story, we will highlight Mr. Ashton Frowner. Ashton has worked with JEVS for quite a few years and is currently successfully employed at Wawa. We are also incredibly proud to announce that in addition to our success story winner today, Ashton was chosen as the 2021 JEVS Human Services Strictly Business Award winner. We are so incredibly proud of you, Ashton. Here is Ashton's story.
I'm so excited to honor Ashton with this award for Disabilities Employment Awareness Month, the month of October, which is also Down Syndrome Awareness Month. With the support of DVRS, Ashton was able to get supported employment services, which allowed JEVS to support him on the job and make sure that he had a successful transition from school to employment. And he has shown success all around. He's learned new tasks. He's recently learned to do the cooler. He does the coffee bar. He does cleaning tasks. He loves to vacuum. He's done whatever it is that they need for him to do. Tammy is always very supportive, and the whole staff is really so supportive of Ashton that he's been able to learn and to grow and to feel pride in his employment.
Next, we have a very special guest to make some remarks about her employment journey. Darlene Hamerka is a successfully employed attorney practicing in Philadelphia. JEVS is a former JEVS staff member and a former Division of Vocational Rehabilitation Services client. Here is Darlene.
Hi, my name is Darlene Hamerka. I'm a person with a disability, a former JEVS hireAbility employee, and a lawyer who represents clients with disabilities in civil legal matters. I had lots of support to help me get where I am today, including working with the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation Services, or DVRS. One example of how DVRS assisted me was by purchasing a scooter for me, which I used to get to and from classes and internships in both college and law school. When I think of National Disability Employment Awareness Month, I think of the saying on my shirt, which says, "If you embrace diversity but ignore disability, you're doing it wrong." This saying reminds employers that disability is a form of diversity and must be part of any diversity, equity, or inclusion discussion or initiative. The shirt illustrates another important aspect of disability employment awareness. This shirt is made by U-Revolution Inc. According to its website, U-Revolution Inc. is a Black, disabled, woman-owned business on a mission to tell better stories about life with chronic illness or disability. People with disabilities, especially people of color with disabilities, need to be at the center of any discussion or initiative about disability. Remember, nothing about us without us.
Finally, we have our last speaker, our very own JEVS Human Services President and CEO, Mr. Jay Spector. Here is Jay.
Hi, everyone. I am Jay Spector, President and CEO of JEVS Human Services. It gives me great pleasure to join you all again this year, although again virtually, to celebrate DEAM month. I would love for us to have been in person next year. We will all look forward to that. But I want to thank our partners in New Jersey at DVRS for working with us so well around the needs of individuals with disabilities. And I also want to thank my staff at hireAbility for making hope happen for people who need a step up in order to be successful in this challenging workforce and challenging world that we're living in right now. We've overcome a lot. We've made incredible progress. The fact that people are working and going back to work is something to really look forward to and be proud of for all that we've done to make that happen and be safe at the same time. So to all my champions in New Jersey who believe in employment first, I want to thank you all again for making hope happen and creating opportunities for individuals with disabilities. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jay. And thank you so much to everyone for attending our National Disability Employment Awareness Month celebration. This does conclude the celebration portion of our event today. We hope to see you again next year, where we are hopefully back in person. Until then, cheers.